Ah, my audience, they thought it was a game. They thought it was something to pass the time, to distract them from the harsh realities of life. But they didn't understand. They didn't understand that what you were doing wasn't a game at all. You weren't playing. You weren't just going through the motions, living in the shallow end of existence, getting distracted by the glittering lights of empty victories. Number. You saw the depth. You saw beyond the illusion of what others were indulging in. While they laughed, while they thought it was all fun and games, you were building, you were shaping, you were preparing for something greater. You weren't playing, you were learning. And every single moment that they spent wasting time was a moment you used to carve out your future. It's a reality few can comprehend, one that demands a different level of understanding, a level that most are too comfortable to reach. The game that they saw in front of them was no more than a distraction to you. While they dabbled in false glory, in temporary pleasure, you were engraving lessons into your very soul. They thought they were winning. They thought they had it all figured out. But when the dust settles and the noise dies down, when all the superficial victories are stripped away, what's left? Nothing but the lessons you've learned, the strength you've built, and the understanding that you, and only you, knew from the very beginning what the real game was all about. It was never about the momentary thrill. It was always about the transformation. The world thought they had the answers, but you turned every challenge, every setback, every failure into a lesson that became the foundation of your rise. When they mocked you, when they dismissed you, when they said you weren't enough, you didn't flinch. You didn't retreat into self-doubt. You didn't sink into despair. No, you used it. Every insult, every doubter, every moment of darkness, you absorbed it like fuel. You didn't let the world's lack of understanding break you. You let it build you. You turned their ignorance into your wisdom. You turned their doubt into your certainty. Where they saw weakness, you saw strength. Where they saw loss, you saw growth. It wasn't a game for you. It was survival. It was evolution. It was becoming. And now, as you stand here, as you look back, do you see what you've become? Do you see the difference between them and you? They thought it was a game, but now you stand tall, knowing what they'll never understand. While they were busy pretending, you were busy learning. Every failure became a lesson. Every moment of pain became a building block. Every time you fell, you rose stronger. The lessons were never easy, but they were worth it. And now, as you move forward, as you take your place in this world, you carry with you the weight of those lessons, a weight that will carry you further than they could ever dream of going. Let them think it was a game. Let them laugh and mock. They will never know what it takes to truly rise, to truly transform. They will never understand the price of success, the toll that must be paid in blood, sweat, and tears. They will never understand that the road to greatness is not paved with comfort and ease, but with struggle, sacrifice, and relentless perseverance. It is not for the faint of heart. It is not for those who want instant gratification. It is for those who are willing to endure, to suffer, and to learn. And you, my audience, you were willing. While they played, you worked. While they wasted time, you invested it. While they chased after things that were fleeting, you pursued something far greater. Knowledge, growth, strength. They thought it was a game, but you turned it into the greatest lesson of all. And now, as they watch you rise, they will see the truth. They will see what it really means to play. To play the game of life is not to be distracted by its surface. To play the game is to dive deep, to challenge yourself, to push beyond the limits of what you thought was possible. It is to learn from every experience, every moment of failure, every struggle, and to use those lessons as stepping stones to your ultimate success. They thought it was a game, but you knew better. You knew that life wasn't something to be taken lightly, that every move mattered, that every decision had weight. You understood that the stakes were higher than anyone could imagine. The price of success is not measured in the rewards that come after. It is measured in the lessons learned, in the growth achieved, in the scars that mark your journey. They will never understand that. They will never understand what it truly takes to build something meaningful, something lasting, something real. You didn't need to explain yourself to them. You didn't need to justify your actions. You didn't need their approval. You didn't need their understanding. All you needed was your own conviction, your own belief in the lessons you were learning. You knew that this wasn't a game. You knew that every moment was an opportunity to grow, to evolve, to become something greater than you were the day before. And as they floundered, as they stayed stagnant, as they remained blind to the lessons life was trying to teach them, you moved forward. You progressed, you grew, you became. Now, look at them. Look at how they are trapped in their own ignorance, how they still play their little games, how they remain content with the fleeting pleasures of the world. They may laugh now, they may mock your seriousness, but one day, when the consequences of their choices catch up to them, when they face the harsh truth of their own mistakes, they will understand. They will understand that while they were playing, you were preparing. While they were wasting time, you were sharpening your mind, your skills, your strength. And when that day comes, they will wish they had followed your example, but by then, it will be too late. The game was never about the rewards. It was never about the accolades or the applause. It was about the journey. It was about the transformation. And while they were distracted by the surface, you were focused on what truly mattered. You were focused on becoming the person you needed to be in order to conquer the challenges of life. You were focused on learning the lessons that would make you stronger, wiser, and more capable. And now, as you stand in front of the world, you can see the difference. You are no longer the person they thought you were. You are no longer the person they believed was just playing. You are the person who turned every obstacle into an opportunity. You are the person who learned from every failure. You are the person who has risen, and now you will not be stopped. So let them continue to play their games. Let them continue to live in their world of distractions. But you, my audience, you will continue to learn. You will continue to grow. You will continue to rise. Because in the end, it is not the players who win. It is the learners. It is the ones who take the lessons, who turn them into power, who use them to shape their destiny. And you, my audience, you are the learners. You are the ones who will rise above it all. They thought it was a game, but you turned it into a lesson. And that lesson, my friend, will carry you further than they could ever imagine. What you've become could never grasp the weight of the sacrifices you've made, the relentless pursuit of your better self. They still see the world as a playground, a place to indulge in fleeting pleasures and empty distractions. But you've come to understand a truth far greater than any of them could fathom. Life is not a game. It never was. It's a series of trials, challenges, and lessons, each one meant to forge you into something far more powerful than you ever imagined you could be. They may have thought it was all just fun and games, but every moment they wasted, every laugh they shared over something that didn't matter, was a moment you spent in silent preparation. And now, when the game they thought they were playing is over, when the fleeting joys they chased have faded, it will be you who stands unshaken, stronger, wiser, and more capable. Because you were never caught in the superficial distractions of life. You knew from the beginning that the true victory is not in the moments of triumph, but in the journey itself, the path of learning, of growing, of becoming. In a world that is quick to applaud, the loud and the flashy. You chose a different path, one that required silence, solitude, and deep reflection. When they took shortcuts, when they sought the easy way out, you put in the work. You didn't rush the process. You didn't expect instant results. You understood that real growth takes time. It takes patience. It requires embracing the long, difficult journey where the rewards are not immediate, but the transformation is inevitable. The lessons you've learned along the way have shaped you in ways they can't even comprehend. You didn't learn the easy lessons, the ones that come with comfort and ease. No, you learned the difficult lessons, the ones that demand a price. You've learned through failure, through hardship, through moments when everything seemed to fall apart. But in each of those moments, you were not defeated. You rose, stronger and more resolute, determined not to let those moments break you, but to use them as stepping stones on your journey. In contrast, they remained caught in the cycles of their own ignorance. They thought it was a game, and so they approached life with the same mindset. They believed that things would always fall into place for them, that success would come easily, that life would hand them what they wanted without struggle. They believed in shortcuts and the illusion of quick fixes and easy rewards. But the truth is, success doesn't work that way. Life doesn't hand out easy victories. It doesn't reward those who take the easy road. Success is earned, carved out through sweat, pain, and sacrifice. And that's what you've done. You've earned it. You've put in the time, the energy, and the effort. Every failure, every setback, every obstacle was just another lesson, another opportunity to get better, stronger, and more capable. And now, as you look at where you stand, you can see how all those lessons have added up, how they've prepared you for the journey ahead. And yet, they still think it was a game. They still think that they can coast through life without truly understanding what it takes to achieve greatness. They still believe that success is something that just happens, something that you're either born with or not. They don't understand that greatness isn't given, it's built. It's earned through hard work, determination, and resilience. They may laugh now, but when the dust settles and reality hits them, they will realize that the game they were playing wasn't worth it. They will see that the price of success is far steeper than they ever imagined, and by the time they understand, it will be too late for them to catch up. But you've already made it. You've already learned what they could never learn, because you were willing to go deeper, to look beyond the surface, to embrace the struggle instead of running from it. You turned every failure into a lesson, every setback into a challenge. You understood that the path to greatness is never easy, that it's filled with obstacles, distractions, and failures. But those obstacles are not meant to stop you. They are meant to push you forward, to force you to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. And that's what you've done. You've turned every challenge into an opportunity for growth. You've turned every hardship into a lesson that will carry you further than they could ever imagine. They still think it's a game. They still think that life is something to be played with, that success is just a matter of luck or fate. But the truth is far different. Success is not about luck. It's about preparation, persistence, and the willingness to learn. It's about facing every challenge head on and refusing to back down, even when the world tells you to quit. You didn't just wait for success to come to you. You went out and earned it, piece by piece, step by step. You embraced the lessons, the hardships, and the struggles, and you used them to shape yourself into something greater. And now, as you stand here, you see the fruits of your labor. You see the person you've become, the strength you've gained, the lessons you've learned, and you realize that the game they thought they were playing was nothing compared to the life you've built. You've created something real, something meaningful, something that will last far beyond the fleeting distractions of their empty victories. And as you look at them, as you watch them continue to play their games, you can't help but feel a sense of gratitude. Gratitude for the lessons, for the struggle, for the path that led you to this moment. Because you know that without it, you would not be the person you are today. They thought it was a game, but you've turned it into something far greater. You've turned it into a lesson in resilience, in strength, in perseverance. And now, as you move forward, you carry those lessons with you, each one a part of your foundation, a part of what will carry you to even greater heights. They may have laughed, they may have mocked, but in the end it will be you who stands tall. It will be you who proves them wrong. And when they finally realize what it took to get here, when they finally understand the true price of success, they will see that you were never playing a game at all. You were building a legacy. You were building your future, one lesson at a time. And now, as you look ahead, you know that the journey is far from over. The lessons you've learned, the strength you've gained, will continue to propel you forward. Because you know, deep down, that life is not a game. It's a series of lessons. And you, my friend, are the one who has learned them all. The greatest game of all is not in the world outside of you. It is the one you play within yourself, the one that tests your limits, pushes you to grow, and forces you to become the best version of yourself. And you, my audience, have already won that game. And as you look at your life, you understand that the game was never about external rewards or recognition. It was always about the internal victory, the mastery over yourself, the relentless pursuit of your highest potential. You faced darkness, defeat, and doubt, and in every single one of those moments, you chose to rise. You chose to get up. You chose to fight. And with each battle, you learned something new about your strength, your capacity, your will to keep pushing forward, even when the world seemed to conspire against you. People in the world around you, they still think it's all a game. They think life is just a series of easy choices and quick wins. They don't understand that the path to greatness isn't paved with shortcuts. The true path, the one that leads to real power, real success, is filled with sacrifice, pain, and most importantly, lessons. These lessons are often hard-earned, and they don't come from moments of success, but from moments of failure. It is the failure that shapes you. It is the failure that forces you to confront who you really are. It is the failure that strips away the illusions, the facades, and exposes the truth about your character, your resilience, and your will to fight on. It's easy to be distracted by the superficial victories in life. It's easy to get caught up in the hype, to chase the fleeting highs of material success or hollow achievements. But these things don't define you. They don't determine who you are or what you're capable of. What defines you is how you respond to the moments of adversity, to the challenges that test you, that break you down, and that force you to decide whether or not you will rise again. And each time you have fallen, each time life has knocked you down, you have chosen to rise. You have chosen to push through. And in doing so, you've built something that no superficial success can ever touch. A core strength, an unshakable will, a deep understanding of your own potential. As the world around you plays their shallow games, you have built a foundation that is solid, unbreakable, and enduring. This foundation is made up of the lessons you've learned, the pain you've endured, and the sacrifices you've made along the way. It's not something that can be taken from you. It is yours to keep forever. And with this foundation, you can face anything that comes your way. You are no longer afraid of failure. You are no longer afraid of the challenges life throws at you. You welcome them. You embrace them. Because you know that in each challenge, there is a lesson. In every difficulty, there is an opportunity to grow. And in every obstacle, there is a chance for you to become stronger, wiser, and more capable than you were before. There is a truth that many people refuse to acknowledge. Success doesn't come without sacrifice. People see the glory, the accolades, the triumphs, but they fail to see the price that must be paid to get there. The sleepless nights, the moments of doubt, the feeling of being on the brink of collapse. Those are the things they don't see. They don't see the internal battles, the mental strain, the quiet moments when you questioned whether or not you should keep going. But you did. You chose to keep going, and in doing so, you have earned something that they will never understand. The strength that comes from within. The unshakable confidence that only comes from pushing through your darkest moments and emerging stronger on the other side. And now, as you look around, you realize that the people who once mocked you, who once thought you were just playing, are still stuck in their games. They are still chasing fleeting pleasures, still distracted by the false promises of an easy life. They think success is about the quick wins, the temporary highs. But you know the truth. You know that success isn't about how fast you get to the top. It's about how well you endure the journey. It's about the depth of the lessons you learn along the way. And you've learned those lessons. You've gone through the fire and come out the other side, forged into something far more powerful than they could ever imagine. They might still look at you with envy, still wonder how you've done it, still think that you have something they don't. But what they don't realize is that you didn't get to this point by chance. You didn't get here by playing games. You got here because you decided to embrace the struggle. You decided to confront the darkness head on, to learn from every failure, and to never, ever give up. You understood that in order to become truly great, you had to face yourself, the parts of you that were weak, that were afraid, that were uncertain, and you had to transform them. You had to learn how to master your mind, how to silence the doubts, how to control the fear. And when you did that, you unlocked a power within yourself that no one can take away. And now, as you stand tall, with the lessons of a lifetime embedded deep within you, you know that your journey has just begun. What they see as the end of your story is only the beginning. Because the true game, the one that really matters, is the game of life itself. And you, my friend, you have learned the rules. You understand the game. You know that it's not about the quick wins or the flashy victories. It's about the long road, the hard road, the road that tests you and shapes you into something far greater than you ever thought you could be. So, as they continue to play, as they continue to waste time on things that don't matter, you move forward. You continue to learn. You continue to grow. You continue to rise. Because you understand something they don't. Life is not a game. Life is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to become the best version of yourself, to overcome the obstacles, to learn from the struggles, and to build something that will last. You're not playing at life. You are living it with purpose, with intent, with fire. And in the end, when the dust settles, when the noise fades away, it will be you who remains standing. It will be you who has the strength to continue. It will be you who has the wisdom to keep learning, the resilience to keep growing, and the power to keep moving forward. Because they thought it was a game, but you knew better. You turned every challenge into a lesson, and every lesson has made you who you are today. A force to be reckoned with, a person who cannot be stopped, a person who understands what it truly means to play the game of life. The greatest victory, the one that matters most, is the one that happens inside of you. It's the victory over your own limitations, over your doubts, over the fear that tries to hold you back. And that my friend, is a victory that no one can ever take away from you. No matter how many games they play, no matter how many distractions they indulge in, you will always have the lessons you've learned, the strength you've gained, and the unbreakable spirit that keeps you moving forward. You've already won the game. Now, you're ready for the next challenge, and nothing in this world can stop you from achieving it. In the end, they thought it was a game, but you knew it was never about that. It was about something deeper, something more profound, transforming every challenge, every setback into a lesson that shaped you into who you are today. While they played at life, you learned from it, and in doing so, you built an unshakable foundation of strength and wisdom that will carry you forward no matter what comes next. So, let them keep playing their games. You've already won the only game that truly matters, the game of life, where the real victory is in the lessons, the growth, and the resilience you've built along the way.